Good morning. Today we are going to start a new lesson, chapter 6, Mahatma Gandhi and the National Movement. This is we are going to learn the third phase of the international movement. That is the Gandhian era. The national movement has been divided into three phases. They are early phase for the early nationalists, first phase. Second phase, that is the assertive nationalists. And the third phase, that is Gandhian era. This period is called third phase or Gandhian era because the Indian national movement was solely led by Mahatma Gandhi. We can see from 1919 to 1947, leadership to the Indian national movement is given by Mahatma Gandhi. That is why this period is called the Gandhian era. So today we are learning about the first movement started by Mahatma Gandhi, that is non-cooperation movement. And today's topic is causes for the non-cooperation movement. There are three causes we will learn today. So before entering to the non-cooperation movement, let's learn something about Mahatma Gandhi and his methods. Mahatma Gandhi, we all know, born on 2nd October 1869 at Porbandar, and he was studied in Gujarat, in Porbandar. You know the childhood, early life, and the higher studies of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, after his studies, he went to South Africa to work as a barrister. Mahatma Gandhi was a lawyer and he went to South Africa. But after reaching South Africa, he found much inequalities in the South African society, discrimination he happened to see. So he wanted to fight against the racial discrimination practiced by the whites in South Africa. And thus he was working in South Africa for many years. But after the formation of Indian National Congress, Indian national leaders started to influence Mahatma Gandhi. We have seen when we were learning about Gokhale also visited Mahatma Gandhi in South Africa. And he asked Mahatma Gandhi to come back to India and to join the Indian National Movement. So because of the persuasion of the Indian leaders, Mahatma Gandhi decided to come back to India, and thus he came back to India in 1915. But after coming back to India, he did not join the national movement immediately. He wanted to know about India. What is India? How is the life of the Indian people? So thus the initial years, he toured, he traveled in different parts of the country. He interacted with the common people, peasants, and he knew the real living condition of the people, the real problems of these people. And during this time, Mahatma Gandhi organized 3 satyagrahas also. Mahatma Gandhi organized the Champaran Satyagraha, the Ahmedabad Satyagraha, and the Kera Satyagraha. 3 satyagrahas he organized in 1917 and 1918. These satyagrahas were not a part of Mahatma Gandhi's national movement. Mahatma Gandhi starting his national movement first with the launching of the non-cooperation movement in 1920. So before going that, we learn the methods of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi's methods in the Indian national movement were mainly Swadeshi and boycott. Swadeshi and boycott, then passive resistance, satyagraha, truthfulness, non-violence, mass movement, etc. were the main methods followed by Mahatma Gandhi. of which the truthfulness and non-violence, these were the main principles of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi always wanted to follow the two principles, truthfulness and non-violence. In all his activities and methods, he executed truthfulness and non-violence. And the other methods were passive resistance, Swadeshi boycott, then Satyagraha. Satyagraha was one of the main methods of Mahatma Gandhi. Then mass movement. Mass movement, that means large participation of the people. That is mass movement. From the experience in South Africa, Mahatma Gandhi realized national movement can be successful only with the participation of masses, large number of people. That's why he believed in the principle of mass movement. Then the passive resistance of Mahatma Gandhi was use force. One should use force if it is needed to attain or gain the goals. Force that does not mean violence or physical energy should be used. Use of physical energy or physical force for the attainment of goal, that is passive resistance. And Satyagraha, that is also almost similar to this passive resistance, but a slight difference is there. Passive in Satyagraha there is no use of force. Physical force is not used in Satyagraha. The word Satyagraha derived from two Sanskrit words, Satya and Agraha. Satya Agraha, that is Satyagraha, which means Satya means truth, truthfulness, and Agraha means insistence to hold fast. So Satyagraha means insistence to hold truthfulness fast, or the desire to stand for truthfulness or truth, that is Satya. So these were the main principles, main methods used by Mahatma Gandhi in the international movement. So once again, the main methods of Mahatma Gandhi, one is Satyagraha, second passive resistance, third Swadeshi and boycott. Swadeshi and boycott you know. Okay. And another one is mass movement or mass participation of the people. Then two main principles of Mahatma Gandhi are non-violence and truthfulness. Okay, let's talk about the methods and the principles of Mahatma Gandhi. We learned the three satyagrahas organized by Mahatma Gandhi. When Mahatma Gandhi was traveling different parts of the country, he staged three satyagrahas. The first was in 1917, that was at Champaran in Bihar. When he was traveling, he happened to know about the problems of the indigo cultivators in Champaran. We know that the indigo cultivators of Bihar was exploited by the British planters. The British planters forced the cultivators of Bihar to cultivate indigo. They introduced a Tin-Kantiya system also. Tin-Kantiya system, that means 3/20th part of the land should be cultivated with the indigo. All the farmers must cultivate minimum 3/20 of their land indigo, and the price for this indigo was decided by the British planters only. They did not give any good price or fair price was not given. So thus the indigo cultivators were totally exploited, and these people, the farmers of Champaran, they met Mahatma Gandhi and they presented their problems before Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi decided to involve or interfere in the matters of the farmers. Even after the order of the British authorities that Mahatma Gandhi should not enter into Champaran, Mahatma Gandhi went there and he staged a satyagraha. And due to this was successful. The government was ready with certain concessions, and thus the indigo cultivators were some relief. So the first satyagraha was at Champaran, this in 1917. Two more satyagrahas were there. There is in 1918. One is the Ahmedabad satyagraha, that is in Gujarat. That is for the cause of the mill workers. Mahatma staged another satyagraha at Ahmedabad. The mill owners were exploiting the mill workers, and the mill workers were paid very less wages. So the workers were demanding for an increment in their wage, but the owners were not ready to grant any increment, any hike in their wages. Finally, Mahatma Gandhi interfered in that matter. He asked the workers to start a strike. Strike was there, but the mill owners, they found some alternative. They brought workers from some other parts of the country, from Bombay and other parts of the country. They brought workers and then continued the working of the mill. But finally, Mahatma Gandhi decided to stage a satyagraha in Ahmedabad also. And at last, Mahatma Gandhi started a hunger strike at Ahmedabad. And with this hunger strike, the fourth day of the strike, the mill owners came to Mahatma Gandhi with a compromise. They agreed to grant 35% increment to the increment in the wages. So thus the Ahmedabad satyagraha was also a successful one. And the third one is the Kheda satyagraha, that is also in Gujarat. In Gujarat, the peasants, that is also for the cause of the peasants. In Gujarat, there was a crop failure in 1917 and 18, and the British authorities were not ready to give any relaxation in the taxes. Farmers were forced to pay the tax even after the crop failure. Actually, due to the crop failure, income of the farmers decreased considerably. But the British authorities were not ready to give any concession in the tax. They forced them to pay the tax as it was decided earlier. So many of them were not ready to pay the tax, and finally Mahatma Gandhi involved in that matter also. He staged a satyagraha in Kheda also, and the British authorities came with Mahatma Gandhi with a compromise, and that was also a successful one. And after this Kheda satyagraha, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, popularly known as the Iron Man of India, became a follower of Mahatma Gandhi. He was influenced by the methods of Mahatma Gandhi, and he became a follower of Mahatma Gandhi. So that's all about the three satyagrahas staged by Mahatma Gandhi before his entry into Indian national movement. And he endorsed the national movement in 1919 only. That means after the World War First. After the World War First. Okay. Before the World War First, although somewhere it is mentioned, it is termed the third phase of national movement, somewhere is there from 1915 to 1947. Actually, it starts. The Gandhian era is actually starting from 1919 onwards. Mahatma Gandhi's national movement starting from 1919 onwards, after World War First. Okay. Now we learn the non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement was the first all India political movement started by Mahatma Gandhi, the non-cooperation movement. So let's learn the non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement. So from the name itself, its meaning is clear. Okay, non-cooperation. That means not cooperate. Not to cooperate. A movement meant for not to cooperate is called the non-cooperation movement. And to whom they should not cooperate, not to cooperate with the British authorities, not to cooperate with the British Indian government. That is the non-cooperation movement. In order to stop the cooperation of the Indians to the British administration or to the British authorities, a movement was started by Mahatma Gandhi, that is called the non-cooperation movement in 1920. So, some causes are there for the non-cooperation movement. The first cause is the Khilafat movement causes. First one. Khilafat. Khilafat movement, that was the first cause. Khilafat movement, that is a movement started by the Indian Muslims against the British government. This is also associated with the First World War. When the First World War started, in First World War, almost all the European nations and Asian nations, African nations all participated. India also joined in the First World War because India was under the control of British. British asked the Indians also to join the First World War. Mahatma Gandhi also asked the Indian people to join the First World War, thinking that if the Indians are supporting the British or helping the British in World War First, when the war is over, the British will grant some concessions, some sort of freedom to the Indian people. So, with that thought, Mahatma Gandhi asked the Indian farmers and the Indian people to join the First World War and to fight against the enemies of the British. Thus, Indian people also joined the World War First. But after the war, attitude of the British were changed. They were not in a mood to grant any concession to the Indian people. Instead, they introduced strict control over the Indian people. So, first one is the Khilafat movement. First was for the non-cooperation movement is Khilafat movement. Khilafat movement in World War First, Britain was fighting against Turkey. Turkey is an Islamic nation, and the Sultan of Turkey or the ruler of Turkey is known as Khalifa or Caliph, and this Khalifa is considered as the head of the Islamic people all over the world. So, or in short, Khalifa is the head of Islamic world. So people, the Islamic people or the Muslims all over the world respect the Sultan of Turkey. They respect their religious head, that is Khalifa. And in World War First, Turkey was defeated by Britain and Turkey was dismembered. Khalifa was deprived from his powers. He was removed from his powers. Khalifa had no political power. So, in World War or after World War First, the Caliph's power decreased considerably. His position and his status decreased considerably. His lands were taken away from Khalifa. And that is why the Indian people, Indian Muslims, started a movement named the Khilafat movement in order to regain the lost prestige and glory of Khalifa. To regain the lost prestige and the territories and glory of Khalifa, Indian Muslims started a movement which is known as Khilafat movement. So Khilafat movement was started in 1990. The Khilafat movement started in 1990. And some of the main leaders of the Khilafat movement were the Ali brothers, then Maulana Azad, Hazrat Mohani, then Hakim Ajmal Khan. These all were some of the main leaders of the Khilafat movement. Ali brothers are Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali are known as the Ali brothers. So these five were the main leaders of the Khilafat movement. Who else? The Ali brothers. Okay, two. Then Maulana Azad, Hakim Ajmal Khan and Hazrat Mohani. So when the Khilafat movement was started, Mahatma Gandhi wanted to of this Khilafat movement, this opportunity. He felt the Hindu-Muslim unity is very essential in order to make the Indian national movement a successful one. Mass participation. If the Indian national movement needs to get mass participation or mass support, then there should be unity among the Indian people. And the main two communities in India were the Hindus and the Muslims. So unity between Hindus and Muslims is a must. So Mahatma Gandhi asked the Hindus to support the Muslims in the Khilafat movement, so that there shall be a Hindu-Muslim unity. So to promote the Hindu-Muslim unity, Mahatma Gandhi asked the Hindus to support the Muslims in their Khilafat movement. Thus Hindus gave their support to the Muslims in the Khilafat movement. Okay. And thus there was a unity between the Hindus and the Muslims. Anyhow, the Khilafat movement came to an end due to some of the events in Turkey. That is, the Mustafa Kemal, he led a revolution against the Khalifa, and he deposed the Khalifa from power, and that's why thus the Khilafat movement is over. Okay, so Khilafat movement is one of the cause for the non-cooperation movement. Another one is, second one is Rowlatt Act. Rowlatt Act. That's also in 1990. Rowlatt Act. The British government passed an act, or the imperial legislature in India passed an act in March 1990, which is known as Rowlatt Act, a very unpopular act, was passed by the central government or central legislature or the imperial legislature in India, and which is called the Rowlatt Act. The Rowlatt Act, it was passed by the central legislature on the recommendations made by a Rowlatt Committee. The British Parliament appointed, or the British government appointed, British Parliament appointed a Rowlatt Committee under the leadership of Sidney Rowlatt. Okay, Sidney Rowlatt, chairmanship. Under the chairmanship of Sidney Rowlatt, a Rowlatt Committee was appointed by the British Parliament. And the purpose, the objective of this Rowlatt Committee was to conduct an inquiry regarding the political terrorism in India, to know about or to evaluate political terrorism in India. A Rowlatt Committee was appointed under the leadership of Sidney Rowlatt, who was a retired judge. And this Rowlatt Committee made a report, and on the basis of the report, two bills were introduced in the central legislature. The Rowlatt Committee introduced two bills in the central legislature. Mahatma Gandhi came to know about the provisions of the bills. So he realized that it was very harmful to the Indian people. That is why Mahatma Gandhi asked the Viceroy not to give his consent to these bills, not to make these acts. But the Viceroy ignored the demands of Mahatma Gandhi and asked for the bills introduced by the Rowlatt Committee in February 1990 in the central legislature. A Rowlatt Act was passed in March 1990. Rowlatt Act was passed. This was very hazardous, humiliating and harassing the Indian people because of its provisions. The purpose of this Rowlatt Act was to stop the growing upsurge in India, to stop the agitation of the Indians against the British, to suppress the Indian people. So this was the main aim of this Rowlatt Act. And some of the horrible provisions of the Rowlatt Act were arrest of any person without a warrant. Okay, is totally violating the basic rights of the human being. Any Indian can be arrested by the police without a warrant. And this Rowlatt Act gave unlimited powers to the police. Police can search any place at any time. Even at midnight, they can search any place and they can arrest any Indian without a document, without a warrant even. And these arrested persons can be imprisoned without any trial. No need of any trial in order to imprison a person. If a person is sent to jail, to be sent to jail, before sending jail, he must be brought or she must be brought to the court, to the law court, before a judge. And after the consent of the judge only, a person can be sent to jail or a police custody or can be released. So the present rule is, or according to the rule, within 24 hours of arrest, person should be produced in the court. But this was not applicable according to the Quran's Rowlatt Act. Any person can be arrested without warrant, and the person can be imprisoned. Anyone can be imprisoned without any trial. No trial is needed for imprisonment. And this trial that can be extended to a period of 2 years without any reason, without any trial or nothing, a person can be imprisoned for 2 years even. Okay. And if what happens if a person is arrested or if a person is sent to jail, will go for the release of that person to get jail as a bail for the release. But that right also denied according to the Rowlatt Act. The right to make a habeas corpus writ is also cancelled or denied. A right to make a habeas corpus writ or a habeas corpus appeal. If a person is under custody, illegal or legal custody of the police or government or anybody else, we can approach the court with a petition for the release of that person. Such a, when we will make a petition, court will issue an order. Such an order is called a habeas corpus writ. So the people denied the right to appeal for habeas corpus. That is another harassing provision of the Rowlatt Act. Then in-camera trial in-camera trial, that means trial, a secret trial. That is at the private chamber of the judge. A secret trial conducted, that is called in-camera trial. Then again, freedom of movement was also restricted. Indian people cannot travel anywhere else according to their interest or according to their freedom. Freedom of movement was also restricted. So all these provisions were just to stop the Indian national movement and to suppress the Indian national movement. So Mahatma Gandhi started a satyagraha against this Rowlatt Act. Okay, to withdraw the Rowlatt Act, Mahatma Gandhi started a satyagraha. Thus, Rowlatt Act was the second reason for the cooperation movement, and the third one is the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. Jallianwala Bagh tragedy, 1919. In 1990, there was a tragedy took place at Jallianwala Bagh. That's in Punjab, near Amritsar. Okay. A massacre, killing of large number of Indians in the place of Jallianwala Bagh in 1919. And this incident is also another reason for the non-cooperation movement. As per the Rowlatt Act, when the Rowlatt Act was passed, Indian people conducted opposition, protest and demonstrations against the Rowlatt Act at different places. So these demonstrations were more in Bengal, Maharashtra and Punjab-like places. These demonstrations were more severe. And as per this Rowlatt Act, two of the leaders from Punjab was arrested by the British. Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Saifuddin Pichu were arrested by the British as per the Rowlatt Act. Okay. And when these leaders were arrested, people conducted a meeting, a protest meeting against the arrest of these two nationalist leaders. Okay. The people of Punjab or the people of Amritsar, they conducted a protest meeting at Jallianwala Bagh on 13th April 1919 against the arrest of two nationalists named Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Saifuddin Pichu. It is another opinion is there. The people gathered there. That was actually for against the arrest of these leaders. But another suggested reason is there. That is 13th April is observed or celebrated as Baishakhi. Baishakhi is celebrated on 13th April every year by the Punjabis. And the people gathered in Jallianwala Bagh is to celebrate or as a part of the Baishakhi they gathered there. But we don't know exact reason anyhow. As per our book, the reason is to protest against the arrest of these leaders. That's why you learn the people gathered there for against the arrest of the two leaders. And there was a very big gathering of men, women and children. And the British police came to know about the gathering. And the army officer, General Dyer, came to this Jallianwala Bagh with his force. The feature of this Jallianwala Bagh was, it was a garden or it was a ground. And the speciality was, it is surrounded by high walls on all the sides. Okay, high wall, that means not a fencing wall. It is the wall means there is the building. Okay, on all the sides there are buildings, and this with these walls or with the buildings it was enclosed, and it had only one narrow entrance to enter into it. You can see from the picture. The picture is given in your book. You just see the picture. It had only a narrow entrance to enter into that, and thus there were a big gathering of thousands of men, women, and children were there in that gathering. And General Dyer came to know about this gathering. He wanted to punish the Indian people who gathered there. Okay. Thus he came there with his force and entered into the garden. After they entering into the garden, they closed the gate. The only one gate to enter and to exit was closed. So the people in the garden had no way to go out. So these people were conducting a peaceful meeting there, and without any provocation, General Dyer ordered the force to fire upon these people, the innocent mob. The force started firing. It is said that the force continued the firing for almost 10 minutes until the ammunitions are getting over. Until the bullets are over, they continue the firing. And in this firing, thousands of people died. and more than that, injured. So this event shook the heart of India. Even the British authorities also criticized General Dyer for this incident. So this is known as, this event or this tragedy in the Indian history is known as the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy or the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, a mass killing, a massacre. And this is also another reason for the non-cooperation movement. So these are the three main causes, three main events for the non-cooperation movement. Khilafat movement, 1919, Maratha Act, 1919, and then Jallianwala Bagh tragedy is also 1919. Okay. That's all about causes for the non-cooperation movement. You read well,